जय श्री राम। प्रेम से बोलो श्री राजा रामचंद्र की
जय।
प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की
जय।
प्रेम से बोलो श्री विष्णु भगवान की
जय.
First of all, devotees, I want to welcome you all to the second installment of Gyan Shakti. This episode will be directed towards that of the Ram Naumi. And once again, Gyan Shakti is a program dedicated towards the youths, dedicated towards each and every one of us, where our Hindu culture is concerned. It is a learning class where we can come together and learn about our culture, our dharma, but most importantly about our religion. I have with me Pandit Hemant this afternoon again on the second installment. And of course, myself, Pandit Navin. And our indication today will be about that of Sri Ram and that of the Ram Naumi that we will be celebrating on Thursday. Devotees, Sri Ram devotees represents that of Maryada Purushottam. Sri Ram represents love. Sri Ram represents truth. Sri Ram represents a warrior of preservation. When it comes to Sri Ram, we have to remember who he is, what he stands for in this universe, and what he represents. God, devotees in this world, is an indication of ourselves, is an indication of love, and is an indication of humanity. Because God is a part of us just as we are a part of God. Humanity is each and every one of us, and love is there. Sri Vishnu Bhagwan, whether in the form of Sri Ram or Sri Krishna, he practices and he preaches to this universe lessons. And the lesson that he teaches us is lessons that we need to put into practice to make a positive experience.
No, exactly. Yes.
And Pandit Hemant will graciously tell us about what Sri Ram means to him in this universe. Because there's so much meaning towards Sri Ram, right, Pandit?
Exactly. Sri Ramchandra actually shows us a way of life. He shows us the perfect father. He shows us perfect son, the perfect brother, and the perfect king,
Husband.
And also the perfect husband.
Mm-hmm.
And today we would see, there's a lot of obstacle in the way of, people thinking and their mind frame. And if we put that Ramayana in practice and go back in our books and learn how to, it will give us a peace of mind and also show us a way of life.
Mm-hmm. Sri Ramcharitamanas also means the character of a man. Because the meaning of it, devotees, depicts a relative experience of what we experience in this world today. It touches so many different points and avenues that the lessons that we can take from that and we can use every day is something that we call Gyan Katha. Because Gyan is knowledge and Katha from the Lord devotees comes to us. And it gives us the ability to make ourselves into humanity, to understand the love of humanity, but most importantly, it shows us how to be a better person. As Pandit Hemant said, Sri Ram showed us how to be the perfect son in this world. He showed us how to be the perfect husband. He showed us how to be the perfect father. But most importantly, he showed us as well how to be a perfect king. We as men in this world today have to be reminded of our roles in society today. Our role is such as a challenge that is there. And that challenge that is there is something that we need to face. But Sri Ram devotee, just like he went into the forest, just like he went and he had to do things necessary to put things, we have to go through different forests in life too. We have to go through so many different negativity too. Because God in this world, imagine in that of Sri Ramcharitamanas, if anybody is familiar with the Ramayana,
yes,
we'll see that the God of this universe, this Lord that come into this world, that take an indication as a human being in this world, had to go through negativity, had to face adverse tribulations. But what is the main part of it? He perceived. The main part of it was that he went through it. And he didn't do it with any special powers. He didn't do it anything different. He only did it just as a man would do. But it shows us the capability of humanity. Right? Now, when I say he didn't do it without powers, I meant that he did use necessary powers as God to show humanity the lesson. But when he fought Ravan, he fought him on an even ground. He didn't. He could have come right there and he could have destroyed Ravan, but he chose to use Ravan as a lesson to society in this world. Right, Hemant?
It's true. Because it says anything good, it also has bad to balance this world. And what Sri Ram came, he came and destroyed the evil and preserves the world, preserve this world.
Yeah.
Right? We see that in the Ramayana. There's so many beautiful katha that we could sit here and relate all day.
And we have to realize in this world that negativity itself, negativity will always be there to remind you how positive you are. And that's why we always talk about negativity and positive. Because Sri Ram, these negative forces that came towards him only made him more positive as a person. He never ran from the battlefield. He never ran away from what was going on. Instead, he turned right back and he walked towards it. And he did it with dignity. He did it with pride. He did it with respect, and he did it with honor. These things, devotees, these little things in the world today is what is slowly being dissolved and diluted in society. Something like pride and honor. Pride doesn't mean that we are the most proudest person in the world. Pride means that we have pride in what we do. Sri Ram had pride as a warrior. He had pride as being King Raja Dashrath's son, because he came from that name. So he had to live up to the expectation of that family that he came from.
But he never abused it.
Exactly.
Where we see Ravan, he did abuse what he had.
Yeah. It is said, devotees, in that of Treta Yoga, where Ravan was controlling this universe, he was destroying things again, just like Mahishasur. He was abusing the power that he received from Shankar Bhagwan, the power that he received from Brahmadev. He was taking his Rakshas as a leader. He was taking his Rakshas in this world and allowing them to pollute the universe. Finally, the Devatas had to come. They went to Brahmadev, they went to Shankar Bhagwan, and they had to come to that of Sri Vishnu Bhagwan. Why? Brahmadev has created this universe. Shankar Bhagwan will be the destroying part of the negativity aspects in the universe. Sri Vishnu Bhagwan only preserves this universe. Only with his blessing, the universe continues to grow, continues to move, because he makes that aspect of preservation. Which is why Sri Ram, Sri Vishnu Bhagwan, had to take incarnation in this universe as Sri Ram. And when he came into this world, he did not come alone, but he came with his full force, with his full aspect of him being that of Sri Narayan. He came with that of Seshnag, which is that bed that he lies on, and he came in this world as that of Lakshman. He came with the Sudarshan Chakra that is around his hand in the aspect of his brother Bharat. He came with the Shankh that is in his hand, the sound of the universe, in that of Satrahan. The mace that you see Sri Vishnu Bhagwan come, he has come in the aspect of Sri Hanuman Baba. And then also you will also see as a petal in his hand is a representation of Lakshmi Ma. Right? But in order for us to get to that, we have to give you a little bit of an indication. I think we get a little caught up in the philosophical part, right? That we forget to give you the indication how everything took place. Raja Dashrath, my friends, was a warrior, was an acclaimed king in that of Ayodhya. He had all the blessing in this universe, he had everything that he could have even. But the only thing he didn't have was sons to carry on his legacy. Right? And in doing so, he went to that of his Guru Vashisht, and he said to him, Guru, I am getting old. I am getting tired. Somebody needs to carry on my name. Somebody needs to carry on my legacy, my generation, where I come from. And his Guru said to him at that point, Rajan, you have to do a puja. And from that puja, I will give you the indication what is necessary to do. Raja Dashrath organized his three queens, Kaushalya, Kekayi and Sumitra, and he sat with them and he began to do that pratna. Because Raja Dashrath had queens, he had princesses, he had daughters, but he never had any sons. And in doing the puja at that time, it is said that Agindevta came out of the fire. And when he came out of the fire, he came with a bowl, and in that bowl he had the porridge. And he gave it to that of Raja Dashrath, and he said, distribute it to your queens. Right? Inside, now we call it porridge, but it's also kheer or sweet rice. It was a very sweet dish that he wanted him to distribute towards his queens. It is said, and I think you would have to help me here, Hemant, because this is a very technical part of Ramayana, because it also gives us an indication how another powerful human being came into this universe. Taking that kheer, right?
Yes. He took it and he gave half to Kaushalya. And then the other half he
Give it to Kekayi.
give it to Kekayi, and in turn she took a quarter of it and gave it to Sumitra.
And Kekayi as well took a quarter of hers and gave it to Sumitra as well. Right? Now, while this is happening, Kaushalya began to partake of her kheer. Sumitra began to partake of her kheer. And Kekayi is saying, I am the Raja's favorite queen. Why do I have to share? Why? And as she is saying that, it is said that a bird that was flying above came down, took a piece of that kheer and travelled. Okay, now I'm going to give you a sneak peek of next week's Gyan Shakti, where Anjali Mata is sitting there and she's doing pratna, and while she's doing there, the bird dropped that piece of kheer in her hand. And a great individual is going to come from that kheer, but we will talk more about that next week. Right? Not too far along, Kaushalya Mata became pregnant, Kekayi Mata became pregnant, and Sumitra Mata became pregnant at that time. And during that day, it is said that the Raja Dashrath began to get crazy, because all his queens went into labor at the same time. And they came and they told him, first Kaushalya Ma give birth to a son, Kekayi Ma give birth to a son, and Sumitra Ma give birth to twins. When the Pandit came and he began to check the patra, he said to that Raja Dashrath, the 4 sons that you have will be great warriors. Ram will have a special place for Bharat, but Lakshman will be associated with him. Satrahan will be associated with Bharat. And to show you love within brothers, to show you love within family, Sumitra at that time said, blessed are my sons, that they are able to come into this world to serve their bigger brothers. Right? Now, just to get a little political, people will ask the question, and we hear it all the time, Baba, why Raja Dashrath have 3 wives? Baba, how is it possible that he have it? But we have to understand that in that time frame, those 3 brides, kings at that time would have wives so that they could create more children. Right? Because remember, kings at that time were also fighters, they were also Kshatris, they went out to war, so they wanted to have a multitude of young children there as well. Okay? But in respect though, we have to realize that there is meaning behind it. Kaushalya Ma represented the morning aspect of Raja Dashrath. Kekayi Ma represented the midday aspect of Raja Dashrath. And Sumitra Ma represented the evening part.
Or the night.
Because Kaushalya Ma had a very important job to give him his morning activities, to refresh him throughout the day. Kekayi Ma kept him refreshed. And when I said, I mean knowledge aspect, because there must be a good relationship between a husband and a wife. Right? And Sumitra Ma, at the point when he was relaxed, she was able to be there to give him that indication as well. Stay tuned as we come back with the second part of Gyan Shakti for the Ram Naumi.